Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Good Friday morning. Welcome to UpNorthSportsRadio.com and Friday Faceoff, brought to you by TVC Cherry Capital Airports, the Traverse City Record Eagle, and Shanty Creek Resorts. JJ Rowell sitting in for JC as he's out on a golf course somewhere, and joined, of course, by the guy who always makes me sound smart, Mr. Rich Calkins.
Well, I don't know how smart I can help you out with here today, JJ, but we'll certainly do our best. And we're going to come right out of the gates and talk about those Detroit Tigers. They're the team that, for the first 3 months of baseball, was probably the best team in all of baseball.
I mean, you couldn't turn on sports talk, TV, radio, anywhere, and they were talking baseball, they were talking about the Tigers.
They were, because, again, they were playing so well for so long. Well, things have changed recently, Jade. Yeah, and so all of a sudden now, that once very comfortable lead, 12, 13 games at one point, just ridiculous, over the AL Central, has now dwindled down to 6 games. So 6 games is not nearly as comfortable. And, of course, those Cleveland Guardians are red hot right now, playing their best baseball, and they've been a thorn in the Tiger side for a long time.
Well, the big question is, what did they do during the All-Star break? I mean, we know the guys, half the guys went and played in the All-Star game.
Right, yeah,
but
six
what
or so players,
what happened to the team on the All-Star break? I mean, we came out of the break and lost 6 of 8.
Yes.
And then we've kind of played 500 baseball since then.
Yeah, and that's just not, again, I hate to use injuries as an excuse, but Reese Olson, probably their number 3 pitcher or 2 pitcher for a while, went down with an issue, and so now he's done for the rest of the regular season. There's a possibility, I guess, that he could come back in playoff baseball. But, then earlier Parker Meadows goes back on the DL list again. He's been on and off of that for many, many times this year, unfortunately. And so the only one constant we've had all season long is Tarek Skubal. And thank God for that.
Thank God he's on the mound tonight.
And yes, exactly. Back at Comerica Park against the Los Angeles Angels. But yeah, it's been a struggle. It just has been. I mean, Jack Flaherty had pitched 2 or 3 really nice games consecutively, and then his last outing did not pitch well at all. Got shelled and just could not. Location was not good. It's a lot like real estate, JJ. It's location with pitching. You got to hit the corners of the plates, the corners of those zones, and if you're throwing those meatballs right down the center of the plate, well, professional hitters, even if it is a team in the Minnesota Twins that sold off almost
half
their entire
roster.
Yeah. 10 players got traded away at the trade deadline. So obviously they're in serious rebuild mode. And that's what's got a lot of Tiger fans with some angst, is that they came into Comerica Park, again, the Twins, and took 2 out of 3 against the Tigers. And they didn't win by, luck by a run here.
A lot.
They did. They absolutely smoked the Tigers. I mean, so that's a lot of Tiger fans, and I get it. It's concerning. JC and I talked a couple weeks ago about our concern levels and stuff with the Tigers. Mine was at a 5 when we talked about this 2 weeks ago, but we're a couple of bad series ago from mine being a 5, meaning a 5-alarm fire.
Right.
So I mean, because again, we've had this huge lead, and we're just not playing typical Tiger baseball. Defensively, we're making some mistakes. We're making mental mistakes that typically you don't see things happen in an A.J. Hinch team. So we got to regroup. We had such a great start to the season, but it's time. We went through our month lull, 6-week lull here. It's time to regroup and steamroll towards the end of the regular season and start playing our best baseball again going into the playoffs starting in October.
We need to have the August, September that we had last year.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? And we need for the Cleveland Guardians not to have that.
Right.
Because we don't want some other team to do exactly what the Tigers did last year.
Yeah.
Just because, again, that was such an incredible run last year. And so for almost a whole full 162 games from the ones last year to the early start of the season, I mean, that would have, if you were to combine that all into one season, the Tigers would have been like a 110-win regular season team. I mean, that's just crazy.
It's unheard of.
And yeah, for such a young team, lacking a ton of experience in playoff baseball. So again, I think the Tigers are still going to settle down and be fine. But there's certainly reasons for concern, especially with pitching being so important. And again, with Reese Olson going on the DL, and of course Jackson Jobe went earlier in the season, their young rookie. And so pitching is going to be key. And unfortunately, at times, Tigers aren't getting their timely hitting in either, So that's a bad combination. Lack of hitting and then poor pitching performances. Our bullpen has been shaky quite a bit. Tommy Kahnle, who had pitched really well the first couple of months of the season, the acquisition we had from the Yankees, he cannot now. He throws a changeup about 85-90% of the time. And right now, that changeup is not doing anything, and people are teeing off on him.
Well, and in listening to the sports report that played right before the show went on the air, they were talking to A.J. Hinch.
Right.
And he and when it comes to the batting, when it comes to hitting,
Yep.
there's aggressive.
Yep.
And then there's desperate.
Yes.
And we've crossed that fine line
Yes.
at the plate between aggressive and desperate. We're going after everything because we want to get something.
Yeah, Riley Green right now is really in a tough stretch again. He's just has, he was an all-star representative again, but in his last 17 games since the all-star break, he's only hitting 171.
Well, and I can only imagine first time in the all-star game, he didn't get the break that everybody else got because of the all-star break. And
right.
I'm sure being around all the other all-stars in Major League Baseball, they were all in bed by 8:30 every night and in the workout room by 7. I'm sure that's how it went.
Yeah, they that's he changed his swing a little bit, and JC and I have talked about it here with that extreme uppercut swing. Everything nowadays is calculated and to the metrics of everything. That uppercut swing is supposed to help your launch angle, all of that stuff. That is the things that hitters nowadays to hit home runs is what they're doing. It's really noticeable with Riley Green, that sweet left-handed swing that he has. He takes that extreme uppercut swing. And when you do that, your bat is in the hitting zone a lot less time than of hitting, as you know, JJ, with coaching softball as many years as you have. When your bat goes through the zone at a flat rate, you're in that zone a lot longer than an uppercut swing where you're going up on the ball all the time. And so really, that has been really noticeable with Riley Green this year. He's going to set, unfortunately, a record that you don't want, and that's with strikeouts. He'll have the most strikeouts by far for him personally, but I think on this Tigers team as well. And one of your best players, you don't want that combo. He's your best player, but he's also striking out the most. You don't want to go back to those days in the 70s and 80s where everything was feast or famine. You hit a home run or you strike out. And you don't want a good player. He's still playing great defense, by the way. He has made some unbelievable catches out in left field, diving after balls, making catches that almost collided with Vierling in center field the other night, but made an incredible catch. And so he is just spectacular out there. So he's so fun to watch defensively. But we got to get him back to hitting again, and that will help this Tigers offense immensely for sure.
Now, I got to admit, for the last 5 or 6 days,
Right.
when it comes to watching ball, I've been watching the Little League and the Softball World Series and flipping back and forth to the Tigers. But here's a thought. Again, I'm a fan. I watch the games, but I'm no expert. Pre-All-Star break, when Javi Baez was in center field, things were going good.
Yeah.
Not that Javi's doing bad at shortstop. He's doing great.
Right.
But when Javi was in center field, he almost made the All-Star game.
Well,
as
he
a center,
did.
Or he did.
He did make it. Yeah, he got voted in.
That's right, he
as
did.
a center fielder. Yeah.
So, if it works, do it.
Oh yeah.
If he was doing great in center field, keep that man in center field.
Well, and that's the thing, I think he's starting in center field tonight, as a matter of fact. Listening to A.J. Hinch from the other day said that on Friday that Javi was going to start back in center field again. And that's what happens when guys are, because Matt Vierling was on the DL list and all that. So, and he's got the versatility to play all over the place. So they put him there, and they still Javi's been playing, but he's been either back at shortstop. He's played third a little bit. He'll DH once in a while. So he's still getting those at bats. But you're right. He played basically Gold Glove center field out there to start the season, and that shows you the kind of athlete that Javi Baez is. I mean, for him to be a lifelong shortstop like he has been, and then to go out there to center field and not skip a beat, that's just incredible. That is not easy to do because, as you know, JJ, the flight of the ball, you're at shortstop.
It's a lot different.
Oh, it's coming off the bat 100 miles an hour, and you're making quick reactions like that. Center field, you got to read fly balls and line shots and stuff, and it's an adjustment period. But Javi did that with grace and absolutely handled this whole situation amazingly for sure.
Yep. As a manager, if it works, don't change it.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And that's A.J. Hinch is known as being a guy that, kind of pushes all the right buttons, and for the most part he does. But not everything is going to work. But certainly that adjustment for Javi Baez has been really good. And the key thing for this Tigers roster is that they want players that are versatile. They can play multiple positions.
Your McKinstry's.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly who I was going to talk about next. Is McKinstry that guy, he's probably got 7 different gloves that he plays. He'll play second, he'll play short, he'll play third, he'll play left, he'll play right. He'll do anything it is, the former CMU Chippewa, to get on the field. And I love it when these guys that are guys that kind of barely make the roster come out and just have huge productive games like that, like Zach McKinstry has done, because it's so cool to see the underdog.
Yeah, I've always been a fan. Brandon Inge was one of my favorite
love Brandon
Tigers.
Inge. I know, even though for some reason the fans kind of turned on Brandon Inge, I love the guy. The guy kept his mouth shut, played a great third base, did some things. They still
He could play all 9.
Oh, exactly. Yep. And so, could catch. He would do anything at all. One of those guys to get on the field. And now an assistant coach at the University of Michigan. There you go. He's still teaching baseball to guys going to the University of Michigan on their baseball team.
Probably not a batting coach, though, because I remember his swing was just
and then he went, he got selected to go to the home run derby, and he didn't hit a single home run. And so that's, of course, some of those people that would love to get on Brandon Inge will still bring that up. And you're like, come on, give the guy, he probably didn't, but he was having a great start to his year, and he got into the All-Star game, but he probably didn't belong in the home run derby.
Right.
And so, that is for those true mashers and all that. And so some people still bring that up.
Well, our next pop quiz there, Hot Shot.
Okay.
How's Boston doing right now?
Oh, let me just reflect back here, get back to my standings here.
I only bring that up because of the Up North Sports Radio and JetBlue wanting to send you on a TVC Tiger takeoff to Beantown. Yeah. We've got your chance with a guest to fly from TVC Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse to Logan International Airport in Boston. end of the season, September 25th. You'll be there for 3 days. You'll stay at the 4-star Hilton in Boston, the Back Bay Hotel, and then you'll head to Fenway to the Green Monster when the Tigers take on the Red Sox on September the 27th, and you'll return home on Sunday to TVC on JetBlue. Register at our sister station website or our station website. You can either go to upnorthsportsradio.com or go to Q100 Michigan, order and get in both ways. You've got till September 17th to register, or register in person wherever you see our sister station Q100 on location. You can enter once per day.
Oh,
did you know that?
I did not know that. That's
so every
awesome.
single day, set your alarm. Go to upnorthsportsradio.com and get yourself in on the TVC takeaway to Beantown. Some restrictions apply. Get all the details at upnorthsportsradio.com.
That's right. They're 8-2 in their last 10 ball games, Boston. So they're red hot. They're only 4 games out of first place. Toronto right now is leading the East, but right now Boston a solid playoff team if they were to end today. So yeah, sounds like it's going to be a great matchup. Someone's going to win a great time there for sure.
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days.
4-star hotel.
Historic, going Fenway Park. Oh, that's just incredible. And remember, tonight you can listen to the Tiger game right here on 101.1.
That's the beautiful thing about the Tigers on Up North Sports Radio. The game's going to be on.
Yeah.
It's not, they're playing this team. They're going to be on this.
Nope, right here.
Always.
It's for free.
For free even, yeah.
For free, right here.
You're not going to have some special subscription, nothing like that. So, all right. Well, I think we're going to take us a quick break here, Rich.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little high school football with James Wagner from Traverse City West. All right.
And we'll be back in just a few minutes on Up North Sports Radio.
It's time for Destination MLB.
This summer, fly nonstop from TVC to 20 amazing destinations, like their newest route, New Haven, Connecticut. Fly nonstop with American, Delta, and United, or enjoy ultra-low fares on Allegiant, Avelo, Sun Country, and TVC's newest airline, JetBlue. TVCAirport.com.
Do you know a Northern Michigan woman positively impacting our community? The Traverse City Record Eagle has opened nominations for our 5th annual Influential Women of Northern Michigan publication. We'll celebrate women making a positive impact and creating positive change in our community. Submit your nominee now for their chance to be honored as one of the 2025 Influential Women of Northern Michigan. Now through August 31st at record-eagle.com/NMI Women. Record-eagle.com/NMI Women.
If you haven't felt the difference of a Barletta pontoon, join Pioneer Hills Marine Sunday, August 10th from 11 to 1 at the Garish Township Marina. We will have 3 models available to take a ride on and see for yourself how much better the ride is. Their patented VIP technology, which stands for Vibration Isolation Pads, gives you a much quieter and smoother ride. Join us August 10th from 11 to 1 at Garish Township Marina. Pioneer Hills Marine, making memories priceless.
Who knew? Fresh air is a destination. Breathe in the glacial carved canvas of Northern Michigan's finest golf courses and have your breath taken away by scenic vistas from tee to green. The perfect place to perfect your game in more ways than one. The waves, woods, and wonder of Bel Air. Escape every day. Discover the magic of 90 holes at one resort. Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
Welcome back to Friday Faceoff on Up North Sports Radio. JJ Rowell in for JC as he's not in today, and Rich Calkins in as always. And we're joined on the telephone by Traverse City West head football coach, Mr. James Wagner. How are you, sir?
Doing well. How we doing, fellas?
Hey, we're doing good, James. We're excited. High school football practice officially starts on Monday. Coach, I'm sure you're just chomping at the bit to get started.
Yeah, season's here. It's been a long time coming, and thank goodness. I mean, I think it's, guys have put in a lot of work in the off season, so they're excited to get into practice and get into some games and see what we can do this year.
Yeah, Coach, looking at last year's roster, we had quite a few underclassmen. There were 25 kids in that, whether junior class or some sophomores that played, that were underclassmen. So hopefully most or all of those kids are playing again this year, and I'm hoping the numbers are going to be pretty good. Yeah,
I mean, high school football is always interesting in the fact of, you're always going to lose and gain some kids as years go. And we got a lot of, we probably have around 20 seniors coming back, and, there'll be roughly, I'd say probably around 18 juniors, and then we'll have some sophomores up this year as well. So it's going to be a mix. It's going to be a mix of old and young, and, it's going to be interesting to see how this team comes together throughout the year.
Yeah, Coach, of course, one of those guys that's going to be returning is All-Stater Drew Esper, and anytime you have a kid like that, I'm sure it's an absolute dream to coach him.
Yeah, he's a special player. He's just an unbelievable teammate. I couldn't speak enough about how much he cares just about the team, and he obviously has individual goals that he wants to continue to aspire to get to, but for him, I know this is all about what can the team do this year, and he's going to be a big part of it. He's definitely had a great off season of getting faster and stronger, and he's ready to be a senior on the field and carry a lot of the weight of this team.
Yeah, and Coach, I think he wrestled for the Titans this year, did he not?
A little bit.
Yeah, he did. He wrestled. He did pretty well. He really enjoyed that competitiveness of just being a one-on-one. And, football and wrestling, I'm a big advocate for the wrestling program. And, I think wrestling and football go hand in hand. And our wrestling program does a good job. And, some of our other guys in there have also, some of the other guys from the football team have also joined the wrestling team. And I think it's helped them tremendously in terms of their footwork and their hands and just that fight, when you're man versus man, trying to fight and compete, it really tests your mental toughness. And so, for Drew and some of the other guys, I think it only did them good to be able to go out there and wrestle and compete. So.
Yeah, Coach, and you took the words right out of my mouth. What I love also wrestlers and football, like you said, it goes hand in hand. It's the mental toughness that they have, whether it's cutting weight or taking on an opponent that maybe had beaten you earlier in the year, and you take them on again and beat them and do some things like that. I mean, it absolutely brings out the best in competitors, and that's whether it's the football field or the wrestling mat. I think it's a perfect match for sure.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's like for linemen, offensive and defensive linemen, it's like a lot of those positions that they're in are very similar to what they're in on the football field, and being able to understand leverage and understand hand placement and how to use your hands and feet to get leverage. I mean, all those things translate very well to one sport or the other, and so big advocate for the wrestling program, and I encourage anyone that's a football player to wrestle. So.
Yeah. You want to drop weight, join the wrestling team.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Different style of workout, that is.
You're going to learn to run.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
Right.
Well,
that's right.
Coach, we're starting your third year. Now, in year 2, you took the team to the playoffs. You had a 6-3 regular season record, and you got to love the growth that you're going at here since taking the program over just a few years ago.
Yeah, last year was a very good year for us. We were close to winning a couple of those games in there that we lost, and we never out of any of those, and I was very proud of that. But we also understood that we fell short of some things that we wanted to get to, and I think this team this year understands what we're trying to be able to accomplish. But the trick of it is that every year it's a different team, and
sure.
It's always challenging to figure out who are going to be the leaders that are going to step up, who are going to be the people that make plays for those that were making plays last year, and it's an entirely different identity of a team, and so it's programs are built through time, I believe, and we're still a young program with me in my third year, but I think we're headed in the direction that we want to go, and I think the team understands what it takes in order to get to those next levels of being in the playoffs and trying to compete for a district title and win the conference. And I mean, we're sniffing it, but we're not there yet. And so We take it one day at a time and 1 week at a time, because I think every day and every week presents different challenges, and you never know what's going to happen in the season with injuries and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of new bodies that are going to be on the field for the first time this year, which is good and exciting. And then there's going to be some kids that are going to have to carry the load with their experience of what they were able to experience last year. So it'll be interesting. When people ask me kind of how we're going to be this year, it's one of those years where it's like I feel like we'll be decent and competitive, but I truly have no idea, because, you look at our schedule, it's a tough one. We have our non-conference schedule is 3 Division I opponents, 2 that are ranked in the top 10 of Division I, and 1 Division II opponent that's ranked in the top 10 as well. And so there's, on paper, our schedule is definitely a gauntlet. And I think there's some great things about that. And I think, challenges our guys right away to be at a high level to win those games. And then I also believe that it's going to prepare them for our conference. It's going to prepare them for playoffs. And I think the other point too is, when you play up the division, win or lose, you're getting playoff points for those losses and for being able to play up. And so, obviously, we don't want to lose, but if that tends to be the case, we still benefit from playing up. And so, there's a little bit of strategy in that as well for our guys. So, it'll be a season to watch unfold before our eyes. But we're looking forward to just getting into pads and being able to work on our playbook and kind of see who steps up in these different roles that we have to fill.
Yeah. Here's a loaded question, Coach, and if you give me a direct answer, I'll be disappointed in you. So, Owen Hendricks, your senior quarterback, has moved on. Yep. Jacob Banish was your backup last year. Got to see some. He did, and then what we saw him on the field last year, especially in that Patriot game at the end of the season. He's got some snaps under center. You're going into again a quarterback situation. How is that battle looking?
It's been honestly really tight. It's been between 4 different guys, and
that's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
it's a great problem to have, and honestly, it's been really cool to see how they each have been able to encourage one another in the quarterback room and help each other out. I think all of them have benefited from being in competition with one another, and it's elevated their game and pushed them to be at their highest level of play earlier. So it's been interesting to see, who continues to rise to the challenge. And honestly, we haven't named a starter yet. That job is still open, and it'll be open all the way until probably the week of our first game, because there's still reps to be earned, and there's still reps that the kids need to go out and prove themselves day in and day out. So it'll start to narrow down within the next 2 weeks, obviously, but by the time Halloween week comes around, we'll have to have our guy in place. And it'll be interesting to see. That's why you have the scrimmage. You can get some live reps and see how they perform. But honestly, I've been very impressed with just the maturity level of those young men and how they've been supporting one another, and then simply, how they've been just elevating each other's play. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. That's been a big question in the whole offseason with everybody. Owen was a special player for us. Obviously, he was a first-team all-conference quarterback, and he was a great player on the baseball diamond as well. And he was just a special athlete. And, it's like your offense is going to change based off of the strengths and skill set of what your quarterback is able to do. And so, things just gravitate. And that's kind of the fun part to me about high school football is, like, you don't recruit certain kids to fit a system. You kind of got to build a system around the talent and what you got. And, I think it'll be interesting to see how all that develops and plays out. But I know these kids are in a good headspace with it. No matter who ends up getting the starting position, they've all voiced to me that they're excited to be on the football field again, and whoever ends up getting it, they're going to support no matter what. So that's a mature thing and a mature mindset to have when you're in competition like that.
Right. And Coach, piggybacking off of what you said there, when you have 4 different guys that are relatively close like that, and if they bring a different skill set, heck, who knows? Maybe
that's a different offense.
A second, that means you can run some plays maybe for another kid that might be better at that read option or do some things like that. It just kind of helps actually expand the offense just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I've had those thoughts as well. The tricky part about it is like you only have so much time on the field, right? In terms of being able to get practice reps. So, how much do you spend doing one or the other, and how good are you going to get at one or the other? Because, being able to do different schemes up front with the line means that they all need to know what's going on differently for that quarterback. And so there's a challenge of figuring out how to balance all of that, if that is going to be the case, and which way you want to go. I think the answer and the key to it is being able to start small and build it out as the year goes on. But yeah, there are some different skill sets that each of them bring to the table, and the crazy thing about it is at this moment I feel very comfortable putting any of them in a ball game if we had a ball game tomorrow. So they've just done an exceptional job of learning and growing and competing, and so it's an exciting battle, and I'm anxious to figure it out myself who's going to be standing there at the end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Coach, sounds like a lot of fun for sure. Last year you scrimmaged, Coach. You went downstate, took on a lot of the big boys. Who are you scheduled to scrimmage this year?
Yeah, it'll be Granville. We'll be back down in Granville again this year. I think that's good preparation for our guys since we see Howell the first week. So it'll be Granville. I'm trying to remember who else is there. I think it's Granville, Belleville, and St. Joe is what I bring to mind. But all very, very competitive programs, and all good opportunities for us to see different looks, not only on offense but on defense as well. And that is simply, those scrimmages are an opportunity to see who's going to be able to step up when, we're facing competition and being able to execute different things. So, the scrimmage is always a little bit dicey just from the standpoint of, it's the beginning of the year and there's new bodies in place and mistakes are going to be made. And then big jumps happen from the scrimmage to week 1 and then week 1 to week 2. There's always some big jumps. So, yeah, it's an important part of, obviously, the process of developing your team for the season.
Yeah. Coach, as you mentioned, Howell is our first opponent at home at Thurlby Field on Thursday, August 28th. Howell's the team that had a really good year last year.
Yeah, they were, I think, rated number one going into the playoffs last year for Division I. They had the most playoff points. And I know, again, same thing for them. Every year is different in terms of you graduate certain kids, and they're going to, bring in new kids who haven't had that experience. So there's a lot of similarities in that aspect. But they're a program that has now made it to a really high level and competed at the highest level with some of the best. And they're going to bring some tenacity about them week 1, and we need to be able to prepare ourselves the best we can to be able to make sure that we're ready for the physical contest that it's going to be. There's going to be some big plays made, I know, on that night, and it'll be exciting to see how it all unfolds. But they got a running back that's super special. They got a tight end, DN that's really, really good as well. A couple different guys that have some D1 offers. So it'll be a slugfest, no doubt about it. And my biggest thing is I want us to be able to be healthy going into that week 1. Right. And if we're able to do that, I believe we have a good chance. It's that week 1 is always a week that just fluky things happen, and you never know how things are going to transpire in a game like that, because there's fumbles, there's missed snaps, there's bad reads by quarterbacks, and so anything can happen in that game. And usually the team that has the least amount of mistakes, and that's in any game, but especially week one in terms of penalties and turnovers, that's the team that comes out on top. And so really it's anyone's battle in my mind. And, we got a long ways to go before then, but, we're looking forward to definitely getting into a game week and seeing where we're at. So.
Yeah. And, Coach, the week prior on Friday the 22nd, I believe, is the community kickoff. Again, are you guys going to have all of the fall sports coming in for that?
Yeah, so a special event just to be able to kick off the fall sports season. It's a unique thing in terms of starting season, a sports season before school's even in session. And so, last year we kind of thought, what way could we be able to bring everybody together and just let people know, hey, sports season's starting. Like, we want people to be able to be in the known about all these young student athletes who are going out and competing. So we try to put together just the opportunity to introduce these teams, introduce these programs, just kind of create a buzz and excitement for the sports seasons that are up and coming for the fall. And, we'll be doing it again August 22nd here on Friday. August 22nd, and it'll be from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Roby Field, and looking forward to having a good time. I know there'll be some food trucks out there as well again, and probably a silly relay or two, but it'll be a fun evening just to celebrate the Titan community.
Yeah, no question about it, Coach. Well, I know you have a meeting that you're going to be getting ready to go to here, Coach. And again, best of luck here in the next couple of weeks as you guys prepare for that very first game. And JJ and I are obviously looking forward to broadcasting all the Titan games again this year.
Yeah, looking forward to spending time with you guys, too. I mean, it's always a fun time for me to be able to, interact and do the pregame and postgame shows, and just thankful for everything that you guys do to bring high school sports to life. So I appreciate both of you guys.
We've always got a microphone for you, Coach.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm always ready and willing. So you just call my name, and I'll be there.
All right, Coach James Wagner of the Traverse City West Titans, appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you at the community picnic there and seeing you all season long. Thanks, James.
Thanks, guys. And always go Titans.
Go Titans.
Thanks, Coach. All right, Rich, we're going to step aside, take a break, and when we come back on the Friday Face-Off here on Up North Sports Radio, I think we would be remiss if we did not discuss the Lions.
We have to talk about those Detroit Lions.
Sports on the Michigan News Network.
Tarek Skubal takes the mound tonight as the Tigers open a 3-game series with the Angels at Comerica Park. The Tigers have lost 4 of 6 entering the weekend, just 6 games up now on the Guardians in the Central. Manager A.J. Hinch, is your team pressing?
We're trying to do too much. I mean, we're trying to hit every pitch for damage. We're trying to cover, all sorts of shapes. And when you try to do too much, I think we talked about it before the game, it's not a great recipe against any pitching that you face.
First pitch at 7:10. The Lions have their second preseason game tonight in Atlanta against the Falcons. Veteran corner Avante Maddox is fighting for one of the final roster spots. The Detroit native who went to high school at King could not be happier to be home.
The Lions has always been my favorite team growing up, from here. And, I played in Philly for the last 7 years, and I'm thankful for them as well. But, when I was playing there, I was always watching the Lions play.
Kickoff tonight at 7. I'm Luke Sloan for the Michigan News Network.
Do you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
22 million albums sold worldwide. Live Friday, October 10th at Soaring Eagle Casino. Showtime 8 p.m. Tickets start at $47 and are on sale now at the box office or online at etix.com. Modern Rock Powerhouse. Live. Live at Soaring Eagle Casino, Friday, October 10th. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Hey, it's Anthony Bellino from Spin on Sports, Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show on the Great Voice Radio Network. Heard live weekday mornings from 6 to 9 right here on Up North Sports Radio 101.1 WGRY. Whether it's Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Lions, Michigan State, the Big Ten, the Mid-American Conference, all the headlines, all the stories, and always Michigan teams first. It's all right here on Spin on Sports, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on the Great Voice Radio Network. Heard locally on Up North Sports Radio 101.1 WGRY.
Welcome back to Friday Faceoff on Up North Sports Radio. Don't forget, you can always go to upnorthsportsradio.com, and this is live right on the webpage. You can see the fact that I woke up at 5:30 this morning to an off-air emergency, and I look like roadkill. I may not sound that way, but I look that way. So, Rich, tonight, the Lions, I'm going to say, are officially kicking off the preseason.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame game last week doesn't count. That was third string at best. Tonight, Lions head to Atlanta. That game will be on our sister station, Q100 Michigan, WQON, pregame at 6 o'clock. But the Lions are officially starting the preseason tonight, Rich, and what do we have to look forward to this year?
Just, clean up some of those things in the game that didn't take place last week. Whether it's your second, your third, your fourth string or whatever, you just want to see them play clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. There's going to be mistakes made. There's going to be some things like that. But you just don't want to turn the ball over. And that's what happened far too many times. I believe 5 turnovers in that game. So you want to see the quarterbacks. If it's Hendon Hooker, I believe, is getting the start tonight. And so I want to see him play well.
Did you say Hendon Hooker?
Hendon Hooker.
That is not a quarterback's name.
Nope, it's not. But he played really well at Tennessee, and before he tore his knee up, he was probably the leading candidate to win the Heisman Trophy that year, like 3 years ago. So he really was having a phenomenal season. He has been struggling a little bit in picking up the Lions' offense and doing some things like that because it ran a totally different offense at Tennessee when he played in college. But I'm excited to see what he does. He's athletic. He's got some height to him. But again, in this offense that the Lions run, you need to be able to deliver the ball to the receivers, to the tight ends, the backs on time. And that's what we need to see here tonight. So there's always things.
And with Ben Johnson going to the Bears, this is not going to be the same Lions offense.
It won't, but I think also the Johnny Morton, not the wide receiver that played for the Lions years ago, but a different John Morton, is the offensive coordinator. And he was one of the guys that were instrumental in developing this offense when Ben Johnson was here, because he spent a year on the Lions staff. So anyway, I think you'll see a lot of similarities in this offense, but also you'll see some of the things that what John Morton wants to bring to this offense. And think you're still going to see a lot of play action. They're going to run the ball. They got 2 really good running backs, and they're going to continue to run those guys a lot. And then that just helps set up the play action pass. Then you fake the handoff to the running back, and then the receivers tend to have about a half a step on the defenders because they start playing the run. So yeah, that's the kind of offense that you're going to see. And, defensively, do we see some things change as well? Because we've got a new D coordinator. He was a former linebackers coach for the Lions. Does he want to change some things, as their D coordinator moved on, is now the head coach of the New York Jets.
Aaron Glenn, right?
Aaron Glenn.
Woohoo,
That's right.
I got it right.
Good job. Yeah, former defensive back for the Jets at one time. So again, the Jets know about Aaron Glenn. They love him there, and they've quietly been having a decent camp there for the Jets. But the Lions, some of the things, again, as always, is injuries happen.
Yeah.
And one of those things, Ennis Rakestraw, the second-round pick from a couple years ago, had shoulder surgery yesterday. He's gone for the season now. He was hurt most of the year last year, so this is really unfortunate news for him for sure. You hate to see these young guys start off their first couple of years in the NFL and basically spend the whole time on the injured reserve list.
Well, the one thing from a coaching standpoint that the Lions do have going for them is, yes, we lost Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, but we knew a year in advance we were going to lose them.
Oh, yeah.
Because rightly we should have lost one, if not both of them, last year.
The year prior, yep.
But they both stuck around for another year, and Dan Campbell and crew recognized that we aren't going to keep them both for another year.
Yeah, sure.
So
he's had time.
The guys
to
that have stepped into those spots, they brought them up within. They trained them in the program within, in using, so they know how Ben Johnson did things. They know how Aaron Glenn did things. So it wasn't a whole new coach coming in and saying, nope, just throw all that away, and start over. So.
Yeah, like you said, the old adage of if it's not broke, don't fix it, Hey, the Lions had one of the best offenses in all of the NFL last year.
Yeah.
And and you saw at certain times some of the greatest trick plays in known to mankind, so those things were a lot of fun to watch. And I don't know if you'll see as many of those this year, but still, the offense worked well. And what Aaron Glenn did with that defense was amazing, considering the amount of injuries that the Lions had. And by the way, did you see coming yesterday out of practice, they've instituted the Hutch rule, where Aiden Hutchinson has been destroying so many offensive plays that they have to instill the Hutch rule, where he basically can't go full speed because they got to let the offense get some work.
He's got to make up for last year.
And remember, we've got two pretty good offensive tackles on the other side with Penei Sewell and then Taylor Decker. So those guys, if Aiden Hutchinson is having such a tremendous training camp to where they have to have him back off a little bit, that says a lot about how he's recovered from that broken tibia and fibula that he had last year. Who, by the way, when that happened, he was on his way to probably being the defensive player of the year. He would have had if he kept at that same pace he was at, he would have ended up possibly with 28 sacks.
Wow.
I mean, that's just crazy. So again, that's good news for sure coming out of Lions camp.
And I'm going to make one comment because you and I talked about this yesterday and off the air. Every time this week that I have turned on any sort of sports commentary and they are talking about the NFL, Micah Parsons.
Oh, yeah.
And everything, let's just, as a Lions fan, I don't think we want Micah Parsons. I don't think we want that BS in our locker room.
Right. Well,
maybe the skills on the field.
Right. Well, remember, most of this is coming from Jerry Jones as well, because anytime someone's talking about his Dallas Cowboys, remember, Jerry Jones is the master marketer of Dallas Cowboys, and that's why they're the richest franchise in all of sports, worth billions and billions of dollars. Is because Jerry knows when people are talking about his team, even if it's in a negative sense, they're still talking about his team.
It's still dollar signs.
And yes, exactly. And yeah, like you said, as not a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, to hear all of this talk, these talk show radios all talking ad nauseum, it's just like, enough is enough. Can we talk about some other things, please?
There's Little League baseball and softball going on. Talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. So, give some shine to the youngsters there, the young girls and the young boys, like you said, playing softball and baseball. But yeah, that's, of course, one of the bigger, themes so far in this preseason is is Micah Parsons going to get paid before the season? Is he going to sit out games? Whatever. They'll get it all figured out. But right now, we're obviously very concerned about our Detroit Lions and going down to Hotlanta to take on the Falcons. Kirk Cousins will he get a lot of playing time? Because I think as of right now, he's the backup quarterback to Michael Penix, the young draft pick. So I think you'll probably see some Kirk Cousins in there. And so that would be interesting to see.
If it were me as a coach, I'd be putting that young guy in there.
Yeah.
He
Penix,
needs the reps.
He does. Absolutely. And you know what these teams do, and the Lions do this a lot. They have these they bring teams into their facilities, or they go to their facilities, and during the week they'll scrimmage them with their ones versus ones. And so that's why you don't see a lot of starters playing in the preseason anymore, because coaches now are matching up team versus team, and they're actually able to practice their real plays, do the ones versus ones to see where they stand. So that's, I mean,
and then nobody can scout it.
And then exactly, and it's really diminishing the preseason games per se, but it's also make it for, at least for the starters, and a lot of starters never played anyway, but still you would see in the old 4-game preseason, you would see by game 3, that was the kind of the true litmus test, and that was the games that you would see starters play almost the first half of that. But things have all changed now, and they do these scrimmages against each other, and that's where the real work is getting done. So something that, the John Q. public isn't privy to.
Right.
Like you said, there's less scouting then. There's all of that taking place as well. So, but again, the preseason games still matter for people fighting for roster positions. They want to make that 52-man roster somehow, some way, whether it's on special teams, whatever it takes. They're going to do things to fight and fight hard to try to win, get a position on that team for the Lions.
All right. Well, tonight, Lions in action in Atlanta against the Falcons. As we mentioned, pregame will start at 6 o'clock, kickoff at 7. And just like the Tigers, every Tigers game is here on Up North Sports Radio 101.1. Every Lions game is on our sister station 100.3 WQON. Every preseason, every regular season, the whole thing you can get absolutely for free. No subscription needed. You can catch the games on Q100 Michigan.
And we have some of the best announcers. Dan Miller is the play-by-play guy for the Lions, does a tremendous job, is a great announcer. And then going back to the baseball for the Tigers, Dan Dickerson is a great baseball announcer. So we're very fortunate to have these play-by-play guys calling games for our Tigers and our Lions. It's an incredible listen.
And the Lions are on the holidays this year. They're playing not only the Thanksgiving game, but they're also playing Christmas Day.
That's right. That's right. You can thank me later as a Christmas present for giving you the Lions.
And I want to start a rumor here that we've got tickets at Blarney Stone Broadcasting does to the Thanksgiving Day game against the Packers. We're still determining how we're going to bless someone with those tickets.
Yeah.
But we have them, and how to win them coming forth soon.
I had the fortune of going to the Thanksgiving Day game, not through the radio station, but through a connection with a friend. And my daughter and I were at the Thanksgiving Day game up in one of the luxury suites, one of the first times I've ever been there. That was a great time, for sure. Incredible atmosphere.
All right, let's get to hang time, Rich. Unfortunately, Lindsay Southwell, the director of marketing for Shanty Creek, not available today. She's getting ready for Balloons Over Bel Air.
That is a big deal, and that is something, if you have never seen this before, people, you need to take this in. It is super cool.
Yep, starting on August 22nd and 23rd. Picture-perfect weekend as vibrant hot air balloons fill the skies over Bel Air. Starts at 6:30 p.m. on Friday the 22nd with festivities, a stunning launch from the Alpine Tubing Hill behind Shanty's Lakeview Hotel, and then it will continue on Saturday starting at 7:30 a.m. with a breathtaking morning flight over Torch Lake. Could you imagine a sunrise flight in a hot air balloon over Torch Lake?
Incredible, for sure.
Then there'll be a finale lunch, or finale launch Saturday night, 6:30 from the Lakeview Hotel. It's a family-friendly event, no admission charge, or parking fees.
Wow. No,
I mean,
this is
you can just come enjoy it for free.
They just provide that to you free of charge.
If you want to make a weekend out of it, they do have some lodging packages available, so you can watch the launch right from your hotel room, and then it's a staycation, Rich. You can watch some balloons and then enjoy, as they've officially named it, Rich's Prime Rib Buffet to top off your perfect weekend.
Well, you got to be known for something in life, and I guess it could be worse. Known for the buffet there, I'll take it, buddy.
All right. So you want to plan that weekend, Balloons Over Bel Air at Shanty Creek Resort, August 22nd and 23rd. We'll be back after a quick break here on Up North Sports Radio to wrap up Friday Faceoff.
Who knew? Fresh air is a destination, a place to breathe in the lapping waves of Torch Lake and explore the tree-lined trails of northern Michigan. A place to connect with nature and each other, one-on-one, in the waves, woods, and wonder of Bel Air. When you're looking to escape the everyday, breathe in the magic of northern Michigan at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
Multi-Platinum Fury. 3 days grace. Friday, September 19th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort with special guests I Prevail plus Return to Dust. Tickets start at $31 and on sale Saturday, August 9th at the box office or etix.com. Showtime 7 p.m. The Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series rages on with 3 days grace, I Prevail, and Return to Dust. September 19th at Soaring Eagle Casino. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Do you know a Northern Michigan woman positively impacting our community? The Traverse City Record Eagle has opened nominations for our 5th annual Influential Women of Northern Michigan publication. We'll celebrate women making a positive impact and creating positive change in our community. Submit your nominee now for their chance to be honored as one of the 2025 Influential Women of Northern Michigan. Now through August 31st at record-eagle.com/NMI Women. Record-eagle.com/NMI Women.
This summer, fly nonstop from TBC to 20 amazing destinations, like their newest route, New Haven, Connecticut. Fly nonstop with American, Delta, and United, or enjoy ultra-low fares on Allegiant, Avelo, Sun Country, and TBC's newest airline, JetBlue. TBCAirport.com.
Golfers just don't feel right when we don't play on the weekend, and it's hard to play on both days. So do the next best thing and tune in to 101.1 WGRY at 9 a.m. Saturdays and Sundays for Finding Fairways. Jerry Coyne here, the host of Finding Fairways for 10 years now. Join me and my co-hosts Dan Pohl, Ray Hearn, Joe Charles, and Kevin Frisch as we discuss the tours, training, and places to play. We have it all on video up at UpNorthSportsRadio.com on the Features tab. Find your fairways thanks to Boyne Golf and PXG Clubs.
Welcome back to Friday Face-Off on Up North Sports Radio and UpNorthSportsRadio.com. And you can always watch past episodes of the show at UpNorthSportsRadio.com. They're all posted there along with episodes of Finding Fairways. We were just talking, Rich, another major headline that's kind of sports related is ESPN is taking over the sports broadcasting world.
They are. Can you say monopoly?
If you missed that headline, ESPN now will distribute the NFL Network, the Red Zone, and one other NFL product.
Right.
And because they're also going to distribute all the WWE pay-per-views.
Yeah. This is shocking news because, again, as you and I were talking, for a company that has been reported to be in financial disarray, say, years ago and things because of the lost subscriptions to ESPN. People were choosing to drop out of ESPN and all that. And they all of a sudden, but they still are always looking for ways to make money. And this is another one. I was shocked, to be honest with you, that the NFL gave up their rights to distribute their product. You know, I thought they liked to have that locally controlled. And you said that they
the way I read the headline was ESPN is going to distribute their products, but the NFL and WWE in this case will remain in control of the product.
Okay.
So
this will be interesting.
You had mentioned that, especially when it came time to the draft, you never liked to watch the ESPN coverage because of the drama.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And if I got sick of it, I could go over to NFL Network and there was less drama.
They don't want drama on their product.
They
want it to be beautiful, and everyone loves it wrapped in a bow. So,
yes.
As I understand it, it is just distribution rights.
Okay.
And that has a lot to do with the internet and subscriptions and all that complicated
And I wonder
stuff.
if they have, though, who's got control in personnel then of hiring the people that will be bringing
I didn't think of that.
So those kind of things, I'm sure that's all worked out in the fine print there for sure. But because that does matter. It does, who is, after, I primarily watch sports a lot. And so certain people, you'll have your favorites of who you really like, and then maybe some ones that you just don't care for, and so you're going to flip the channel. So to me, who they have running these shows, doing the programs, it certainly matters for sure.
And I will give ESPN credit for their coverage of Little League baseball and softball.
Yes, absolutely.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, the stats they've got on these kids, and as you and I know, when you're broadcasting kids, it's different than broadcasting professional sports.
Oh, yes.
Because even at the end of these games where the team that lost is crushed.
Absolutely.
The camera's staying on the kids that won.
Yeah.
Not that they're disregarding the other team, but they're not showing that, if it was a professional athlete crying on the sideline because they'd lost a game, well, that camera would be right in their face and they'd want an interview.
Absolutely.
On this side, no. So ESPN has done a phenomenal job on broadcasting, and it's not just in one location.
Oh, no.
It's across the country and the time zones.
Because they were
really
regional games, and certain regions would play, and like you said, to have the amount of softball coverage that you and I both love, girls softball, so to have that coverage there is amazing. And the Little League games, and they do, interviews with them prior to, they talk about who their favorite player is, some of the kids, they do all that. So these kids get a little bit of shine on ESPN and all that. And what an incredible dream for these kids to be playing in Little League World Series competition, and then also being on ESPN. I mean, that's what a dream come true for these guys.
All right. Well, Rich, we've hit our 60-minute mark, so it's been a pleasure. This is kind of a warm-up for us.
It
really.
is, absolutely,
Getting
because
ready
in a
for
few
football
weeks
season.
we're going to get ready to broadcast Titan football for sure.
So, well, that's just going to about wrap things up here for Friday Face-Off on Up North Sports Radio. JC, I believe, is going to be back next Friday, and Rich, you will as well. So, to quote Coach Wagner, go Titans.
Go Titans. All right. Thanks, Coach Wagner, for joining us live today.
Nice. I promise. We're nice here.
He's humble.
I think I'm usually pretty good here on the show about admitting when I got it wrong.
It's Righter Than You on the Infinity Sports Network.
Hour number 2 of a Friday edition of Righter Than You. Son's Bill. Bill's got the day off. Hopefully he's having a nice long weekend. Hopefully you have a great weekend too. I'm trying to lead you into it. Give you a little insight to what went down in sports last night, what's coming up the rest of this weekend, shoot, the rest of the year, at least on the baseball front. Football, we got to look down the road a little bit. But before you know it, February will be here, and we'll find out what two teams are in the Super Bowl.